Hey, family. Welcome back. All right, I got a good one for you today. I was watching Arthur. Remember Arthur on PBS? Anyway, it was this episode where DW had got this bad haircut, and the Tipples were teasing her, right? And anyway, she wanted to go, back and forth because she was angry. Of course, if they're teasing her, she wanted to, get them back or whatever. Anyway, her grandmother ended up telling her a story. And the story was of the duck and a turtle, right? So anyway, they all lived in a pond. And so, my cat's tail. And so anyway, they all lived in the pond. Anyway, the pond was drying up, and so they were going to, all the creatures were going to a different pond. But the turtle, he being the slowest and wouldn't be able to make it in time. So the birds had an idea, and that was to get a stick, but the turtle had to keep his mouth shut because he had to keep his mouth shut around the stick, and the birds would take the two ends of the stick and they'll fly him to the new area. So anyway, they're in the air, and so then this other bird comes like, oh, what a strange thing, a turtle, just heckling him, right? You know how people want to goat you. And he opened his mouth, of course, to rebuttal, and fell because he was holding on to the stick. So it's just showing you how, like, how people try to bait you, like, and the importance of self-control. So it, made me, think about the Kabbalion, how, the first rule is everything is mental. It's it says matter is merely a mode of consciousness. So it's really important. It says it's the seven hermetic principles. The principles of truth are seven. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple will fly open. And so you know that you are the temple, right? And so then it had me thinking about the scriptures when it's talking about it states in Proverbs 28. 25:28, and it says that a person without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. And this is highlighting the need for self-discipline and restraint. I'm sorry for the delay. I'm saying that to say, like, just before I, keep, going on, like, why is this important? This is important because it's so much that's coming, at us, and especially you, family, anybody who's walking in righteousness, just be you're doing good. And I'm not saying about wherever, status you are in life, but your righteous deeds, you're wanting to be the quote unquote good person, angers people. I know, right? It said that me and my cousin was reading that scripture the other day in Timothy, and was talking about, how bad everything was going to get, and then the hate for the ones that's doing good. So you think I'm just minding my business, I'm just trying to stay in my own lane, I'm not bothering nobody? Oh God. That sets them off like never before, like you would think, right? So that's just them, that is what you're going to be dealing with. That's what's going to happen. But that's why it's like, again, remember the ark. You build yourself, the ark didn't have any windows except for one at the top. Just, whoever keeps his eyes focused on the Christ, like, you will never, so it doesn't matter anything else, you'll be able to get to where you're going. You just be like, try to be like Dora from Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming and have a short memory. Only remember what God says, but forget them. Because they're zombies. Who cares what they think? Do they think? I mean, zombies, the whole thing was their brain gone, right? That's why they're trying to eat yours. They're coming for yours. So a lot of attacks is to the heart, because out of it flows all issues of life. And mental, they want to play mind games, so that's why it's saying all is mental. So here's the thing. Again, if you know the truth, you can't be deceived by lies. God is not an author of confusion. So you can read psychology books if you want, how narcissists, all that, that's good. I'm not saying that's bad. And the easiest way, before you, get through all that, is remember, God is not the author of confusion. God is not a liar. He hates to lie. And remember, 6 things God hates, 7 are abomination. Lying is twice. Okay? So that's how come you can send those words back. But we'll get to that too. But anyway, if it's lying to you, if it's bringing confusion, any kind of deception, it's not of God. It's an enemy of Satan. It's an enemy. It's an agent of the devil. Okay? That's sent to steal your time, your joy, your energy, kill your spirit, everything that you work for, your witness, and destroy all that you are. So that's what it's coming to do. It's really simple. If, it's like, and here's another thing. I know that the demons, they come disguised as an angel of light. But angel of light never comes disguised as a demon. So once they show you, once that mask slip, once they show you who they are, believe it. That's why they say believe it. You don't have to give second chances. That's not in the Bible. Forgiveness is, but forgiveness does not mean that you can't release. I forget like DMX. He said, I forgive, I don't forget. You're your own little man. Don't ask me. But that's how DMX said, and that's the truth. And that's how I do. Like I said, why get back? No, if God delivered you from something, don't go back to it. You see it for what it is. It was exposed to you to get out. Don't stay in the trap because of titles. Oh, this is my family. Yada yada. Like, look, hey, whoever loves God, my Father, is my family. Same as Christ said. So forget all that labels, family. Be honest with yourself. Be true to yourself. That's self-love. Let the adult in you take care of the kid in you. What would you tell, your son or daughter about, the same advice that you would give? That's why journaling is good. What would you tell them if somebody else was asking you? Just switch roles. What would you tell you if somebody said the same thing? Oh, I'm going through this and they did. And you'd be like, get out of there when you. So that's what you have to do. I'm not saying be petty. I'm saying, when it comes to things like treason and, the unforgivable. Sorry, nothing's unforgivable, but the unforgettable things, that just, it's like, my friend had made a post. It's like, hey, just because, you've forgiven a person and you've healed doesn't mean that person is not still toxic. So, I just wanted to, let's go on. Let's just talk more about mentalism because in the Kabbalion, because all is mind. It says, the all is mind, the universe is mental. This principle embodies the understanding that everything in the universe is created by thought or mind. Thoughts are things. The entire universe was created by the thought of God. We, as God's sons and daughters, create our reality both metaphysically and physically by the power of our minds. The great law of spiritual psychology is that it is our thoughts that create our reality. Everything that exists is spirit. Spirit is just refined matter. All is energy. He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery. Without it, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at many doors of the temple. So you're always going to have that's self-control. You're going to have mental mastery. The scriptures, 1 Corinthians 9:25 says, everyone who competes in the game goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. So work on your self-discipline, on your the fruits of the spirit. You know, when it said to be fruitful, that's what it was talking about. God can raise up people, but the fruits, like how you judge people, it's like you judge the tree by its fruits. It's like, you know, your deeds are your robes of righteousness actually in heaven, or you know when you stand before judgment, whatever. You know, so your actions, your thoughts control your actions. You know, so when somebody is telling you something, you got to think, why are you telling me this? What is it that you want me to know? Because what they want you to know is something they want you to do with that information, right? You're telling me this because you want some kind of, you know, reaction, some kind something. You know, so when people are giving you information, you know, step back and think about it. You don't have to, you know, react all the time. You can, you know, process it. That's why I like the snake oil, or they say the used car salesman, act now, because they don't want you to think. So just if it's something that you can't wait, then it's a scam, you know, because love is patient, right? God is love. So if it is something like you know, trying to rush you and not giving you time to, you know, to think or to, you know, get to explore this situation, the person or whatever, you know, better, than, you know, these are just little clues, like, you know, where it's like, okay, and you could just get out of, you know, situations that's, you know, little traps that they have set up for you, where it's not time taken out of your life. Because remember, the game of life, like, these people cannot go. So their plan is to delay, distract, and block you, because you only have a certain amount of time in this vessel. You know, so it's just like when you playing Mario, right? You know, you can get caught on you can get caught on the money boards, like when you try to get all the coins, but for what? Because once you beat the game, you can't take the coins anyway. The coins was only good for the stuff that you could get in the game. And you could, by the end of the game, you had way more coins than stuff you could get. So what was the point? It's the same thing about life. Like, will your God not provide? So you don't gotta be chasing after money. You have a purpose and a calling. That's what you need to do. You know, seek ye first the kingdom, and all other things shall be added. This is other scripture. It says, John 9:4-5. Work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man will be able to work. So anyway, I hope this helps, family. I'm gonna be right back with you. Bye.